Hi, this is an apology. In episode 32 of the Unofficial Hobby Hangout there has been made a joke that did not go well. Main reason being that it was out of context and being very close to the edge. The joke referred to a comment in the previous episode 31 on where there was a reference to the band The Lost Prophets and its lead singer Ian Watkins, who has been sentenced to 35 years in jail for multiple child sex offenses, including attempt rape of a baby. The joke was not meant to be aimed at the band The Wild Hearts or the project by Blinky465 in any way, shape or form. I, as the host of the Unofficial Hobby Hangout, have failed in that I should have trusted my gut feeling in that moment and to clarify what it was actually meant, but we just went on with it. That was my mistake and I accept fully responsibility for this. I have offered Chris my honest apology via private message and I do apologize here again. I will try being a better host in the future. The recording of episode 32 has been edited in the way that the 8 seconds in which the joke was made has been cut so that no one can be offended by this in the future. If anybody feels the need to address the subject anyway further, please use the comment section under this video or my email address which will I put in the video description once this video is uploaded to YouTube. Thank you.
Here, listen. This is a podcast and a stream for adults, not for children. If you are not an adult or legally need guidance, turn off now. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, that was a bit of a downer to begin with, but that was a thing I thought that had to be addressed. Jerry isn't with us today because he's having the week off work and is now probably sitting in front of his TV yelling at it because some people are kicking an air-filled leather balloon around a green field of grass. Yeah, football. So you have to make do with me, but I think we can manage. For once, I think this will be going. Hello Dandy, Dutch, Hazy, Toros, Panzer kaputt. Yes, that apology was pre-recorded, just in case you thought about asking. I did that on purpose because I'm terribly bad at free speech, especially when I'm nervous as fuck. Hello my dog Skip. First project of the day. Link is in the chat for all you to continue chugging along. Robin of Sherwood by Denzian. We have been here before and he's added some more miniatures to his lovely band of mischiefs. Also the Chevis Force has been added. So we were last time, where was it? I think we left him about around here. So he nearly painted everything in this little force of Sherwood. And I love the fact that he's actually taking them outside, even though it's obviously raining, and taking glorious combined Lloyd and Jerry shots from miniatures he has so lovingly painted. And also I still need to get the DVD set from this. Taurus the big lad, as I just said, is sitting in front of the telly and screaming at people playing football. He has been off air for this week. He's off work and asked to have the night off, and who am I to say no to somebody having a week off work than asking to work again. Actually, he said last week after the show to me that he would try to not touch anything work related this week, so that has been long before anything. Brother Tuck with a sword? I can't remember Brother Tuck having a sword in the TV series. I always thought he just used his stick, but that might be just me. Oh, and there's Hearn. It looks a bit underpainted in regards to the other miniatures, but maybe that is on purpose. You never see very much of that dude on the show anyway, apart from him standing somewhere in the mist. So this is the Jolly Raiders band, and now the law enforcement forces. Just look at these facial expressions, this high quality acting from back in the day. I'd say the miniatures do them quite justice. I really love these. Also the pattern on the shields look very much like on the show. Maybe a bit better even because they're newer. And they're not villains. Those are just poor men carrying out their job and having the bad luck of having a cunt as a boss. Let's put it that way. And again, taking pictures outside, I guess in the garden, making them look really, really extra nice and crisp. Oh no, and he's reenacting battles. I would have wished for him to maybe use screenshots from the television show where there is a fight and reenact that on this small scale. I think that would be lovely. But on the other hand, you'll never make it quite one-to-one. And there's the sheriff. Little John. Not so little, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think this needs a proper battle report at some day. Maybe a bigger project on his own with who fights who and who dies at the end. Next is a project Lornor. I think we have been visiting this too in the past. Let's scroll down. He has been doing some real nice... Oh, I remember the Beer and Brawl. Yes. So this wasn't so long ago. This is the base for Cyber Beauties. I'm guessing that's this one. Yes, Cyber Beauty, there it stays. Well, this should look interesting if she's fitting on there. But just look at this Necromancer Romantic. Yes, he has a bit wonky eyes, but that's nothing you can't save by going over these areas with flash paint again. At least that's what I'm told. I usually restrain myself from doing faces at that scale with that amount of detail. For reasons. I love the yellow on this downed flag, though I think it could use one or two maybe footprints. A little bit of dirt on it. Hello, Lorna. What about the eyes? Are you having nightmares because of your eyes? I think this model, that's totally not from Nier Automata, absolutely no copyright infringement whatsoever, looks really, really nice. Oh, what's this? A gap and a crudely drawn error. You know that MS Paint has an error in it, so you can just put it in there. And all these lovely bases. Sadly, I didn't have very much time to prepare, so you may forgive me if I'm not on top of everything that is written in your projects today. I'm simply going by what I can see right now. MS Paint is not that hard if you can take a photo and draw some things in. Lovely golden monkey with his throne. These are nice looking ladies. And bonus, headgear without the need to paint eyes. I'm guessing that's why you've chosen this Near Automata miniature to paint, because no eyes. And these aren't too bad. Again, I've been told to dot in the black and then go over it again with the flash color of your choosing to reduce the size of the pupil, but I'm guessing that's a hell of a lot of work. But the shades of green on this, what is it? A coat? A cloak? I can't tell. Very lovely. Nice work indeed. Love it. Next up. Oh, totally not related to any current event going on over in the Americas. It's Hero Quest, the original. Firelog22 has done the heroes. I pestered him a bit in the last time we were here when he had just painted the elf. But now we have a wizard, which looks stunning. Just look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. You can see pupils. And look at the back of the cloak. He has dots on it. Talented bastard, I say. Talented bastard. But why do the dwarf and the barbarian not get a Lloyd shot? That's beyond me. I think that should have been done as well. Or not. I think we deserve Lloyd shots of every miniature. And, of course, what's missing in every one of these? Banana Man for scale. Missing badly. But just look at what character oozes from these miniatures. I hope to find time so that I can paint mine in any way, shape or form that gets close to this level of detail. I'm probably not going to try to paint eyes, because it won't go down well. So Firelog, very nicely done. I hope to see more on this. Much more. Next up, Murder Hobo Squad. Again, a project by Lorna. Lorna, this is a totally coincidence that I'm having your projects here, because when I walked through the project system this afternoon, I just took the next 12 things that came under the mouse button. So forgive me this. If anybody has been updating his or her projects throughout the day, they're probably here in this. Oh, and as I said, I didn't look at them beforehand, but I'm totally regretting it now. So this is Lorna. Would you be so kind to give me a clue what this is? Is this just a reference for your adventures you have done before? Are these the adventures of your D&D campaign, or is this planning for your next adventure? A record for the current D&D campaign. That's very nice. Helps a lot if people stop remembering what everything was about when they start to play again. I find myself in that troubled position every time I restart a RPG session that's had a longer break than 1 or 2 weeks. My brain just can't handle it. And I'm guessing every player is very happy to have something visibly to get by. The amount of text is enormous. I think I need to put this on watch and give this a read next time I'm having my lunch break at work. And maybe just putting it out there, maybe we should consider giving Ben and Lloyd a nudge to reconsider giving golden buttons only to projects regarding painted stuff. Maybe there should be an occasional, how do you put it, appreciation for things in the project system, the forums and the website that are creative in a broader sense. Perhaps, maybe, just putting it out there. Next up is a short one. I have looked at that before. Carlos Spictor, if that's the name, got him or herself a Playmobil arena. I have the feeling we had something similar way before, but I can't put my hands on it, because this is a rather new project and these things are not easily to get by. But being Playmobil, they almost perfectly fit 28mm for some weird reason. As we can see here now with these Age of Sigmarites thingy-badoots on their weird round bases. And I think this would make an awesome gaming table for maybe Gangs of Rome. Maybe something like, what was that mode called from Freebooter's Fate, where you just throw cannonballs around? Hello the days. Does anybody remember Freebooter's Fate small skirmisher mode sporty thing? Can't remember now. Oh, it's a bargain for just £36. Well, that is rather nice. And there are the first pictures with color on it. This hasn't been here when I picked the project, so there has been some updates done in the meantime. Look at all those nice corks. So many corks. So many cocks. Warren will love this. I really want to see how this ends. So, the exact spaces made multi-purpose Warcry Warhammer Underworlds Super Fantasy Brawl. And I think you also could use it for any small scale skirmish ever. This would really be nice. I hope this plastic is a bit more sturdy than the circus tent from Playmobil, because that's a rather wobbly bit. You can't really carry it around very good. I think this is going to my follow list as well. No, not Arena X or Dutch. Freebooters Fate has a play mode that is a game of literally throwing the cannonballs around, and I just can't get my head around on what's that called. It has a special name, but I probably will remember some time later in the night and gets awake screaming. Next project, Sharp Practice. Okay. So Evil Stu is doing guns, but not the ones I would associate with Sharp Practice in the first place, but the big guns. And he's doing a nice step-by-step tutorial on how to paint these. And if you would just look at them, they look really nice. The wood looks proper old, well-dried wood with some metal workings on them. The guns may be a bit too shiny. Even with a black wash on it, but I couldn't tell if those guns didn't look that way when they were new, because I don't know anything about the metal that has been used in those days. Oh, and he's done much more cavalry. I think this was one of the projects where Jerry needed some time for himself when we looked at the first pictures. Oh god, you people have much too much time and talent on your sides. Oh god, the Swedes are coming. Just look at this. So many nicely painted miniatures with spears to get your hands stuck on and never get off again. Have any of you ever needed to see the doctor because you impaled yourself with some minis? I haven't yet. I hope this stays that way. He is doing astonishingly, immensely much in a scale, time-wise, I would not be able. Yeah. 4 weeks and he's done terrain and a whole army's worth of painting and creating. And this is just enormous. How do you keep yourself motivated for that long? I genuinely wonder. I usually can't keep up my hobby spirits currently for more than 2 weeks, and then it's gone. And I'm exhausted and I need a break. That's why it took me so long for nearly finish my snotlings. But alas, they're almost done. Only the rim of the bases needs to be done. And guess the colors of the Snotlings team's Blood Bowl rim will be. Guess? Next project by our friend Horatio. Yes, green, goblin green, Danley, 100 points. Of course it will be goblin green, there's no other color. Not for rims on Blood Bowl Snotlings. So, he's continuing on this display piece he has started over a year ago. And where did we leave him? I think, oh, this is a new one. Why did he write he started 2019? Oh, he built it 2019, now he's going to paint it. Well, fair enough. So let's get down to it. So we're having this lovely metal miniature on a what looks like a resin plinth. So technically she's foot on rock, but since it's an even playing field, I think we can give this foot on rock a pass. Oh, yes. Never. People in chat, never. Never tell you know who that he's right. He will explode with joy. Or something like that. So, getting a paint and starting to apply them. Does he say how do he so he's using a technique that I have been seeing more and more recently, where people use their small makeup brushes instead of an airbrush, because you can be much more subtle in the transition. I need to get myself one of these brushes too and try this, because this looks like it's much more indoor friendly than an rattling airbrush. Has anybody in the chat tried this with this stippling of a makeup brush, not using it for dry brushing but actually stippling it on? I wonder. Oh, look at these nice colors he's using. Subtle yet very bright. And now the one thing that Dutch already admired. Look at that detailing. I'm not sure if he's drawn that by hand, to be honest. I will look into the description. I'm guessing that's either a transfer or he's used a stencil of sorts. Scale mesh. So he's used a stencil. Well, still very impressive work of display of workmanship. This is craftsmanship. Forgive the lack of words in my mouth today. Nice one, Horatio. I think you're due for another gold button when this is done at some time. Venturing on to Oldenheim. I don't have a makeup brush. My wife has, and she will kill me if I use that for miniature wargaming. Duck. So Oldenheim by Piers has gotten some new old editions. Last time we had this little chaos army, and now we've got a Night Goblin Snot champion. Oh, this just screams pure joy. I could look at this face forever. I really love these old sculpts. Maybe I would have added some kind of blood and gore to the blade, or some rust to the top of the helmet, but this is really... Oh, I love the character these old sculpts have. They are so lifelike. Well, this elf doesn't really look too lifelike. His pose is a bit 2.5D-ish, but still, this as a single player character in a skirmish game stands out immensely. And the paint job Pierce has done on him is absolutely stunning. Just look at the eyes. Again, Lorna, look at the eyes. The eyes. And the lovely painted shield. Oh, and I almost... Very nice green fielding. I wonder if that is freshly grown or actually for hobby purposes. Come to think of it, Why wouldn't I use something that actually grows on a miniature? Have to think about that a little bit more. Next up, Pierce again. As I said, all the people did update their project on the fly, so they all got caught up. Pierce and his 20mm battle group endless project. Well, yes, endlessly. Did we see this before? Yes, we did. So he's adding vehicles en masse to his army. And weird ones at that. Kettenfahrzeuge all the way. Or Sonderfahrzeuge. As a kid, I always was fascinated by the pure thought of having a front wheel turning with traction in the back. That didn't make any sense back then. It still really does now, but I can see how they did it. And just look at the detailing, the squad markings. This is a fuck ton of work. Oh, you have to excuse me for a second. I think I need to blow my nose. That's the dry heat from the radiator getting to me now. That's a small Gustav. But a really weird vehicle. I don't think that would withstand any firing, not going really to the front or to the back, if it's rotatable at all. This is the point where John would be nice to have around, because he surely could tell us a lot about those vehicles. This one, I know, that's a Kübelwagen. A swimming Kübelwagen. Bucket car. Weirdest naming scheme ever. Well, that's German creativity for you right there. So he did a lot of Germans and the equal amount of US infantry. And why do people keep shelling out this amount of miniatures like they have no shame? No shame. Yeah, maybe it's handy to move quick, but why? What good is a quick-moving gun if it trips over once it fires because there are no supports going out the side of that vehicle? And I highly doubt that they would be firing back at incoming aircraft at full speed on the roads. But I may be wrong. Nicely done, Pierce. You sodding bastard. Carlos Spectre again. See, I told you we would see multiples today. And I think I have not seen anything of this before. Let me just scroll down to make sure I'm not telling lies. Oh, this looks like something we should not have overlooked. Hold on a second. We will be going back up in a minute. Oh, I'm pretty sure we have been here before because of these nice little pamphlets. This is awesome terrain. And I love the brickwork that has been done. I don't think this brickwork is usually within the GW range. So we were here before, but that's some time ago. So let's just go up slowly again. Mdf Terrain, bronze plating on the housing, some leaflets, some small bottles, an annoyingly plinging mobile phone on my side. I apologize. Oh, this is just lovely. Anyone in the chat, can you tell me if these terrains have this brickwork in it, or is that added on? I think that's added in later, but I can't really find any hints of this. And it's a bit irritating that the entries go that way, but within each entry the timeline goes that way, so we are more or less jumping around all over the place. Oh, and taking things outside to be photographed in an appropriate way. Nihilak oxide. Well, I think I need some of that too. This looks gorgeous. Yeah, the project system is a bit wonky, to say the least. But I would not want to be in the shoes of anybody who's actually maintaining that site, because OTT is a really stuffed WordPress installation at the end of the day, and I don't think it's meant to be used in the way that it is currently. Not on that scale, however. Oh, some weird ducklings with cocks on the bases. What are these? Chicken predator. These finger licking good. Well, doesn't tell. Now, this was where I, a minute ago, thought my eyes were deceiving me. But are you seeing what I am seeing? These are Necrons wearing bowler hats. Why? Why do Necron murder buckets wear bowler hats? I don't know. But for whatever reason, it fits these Necron models. And look at the painted on wood graining. That's not on the model, that's painted on. These are lovely. Why has nobody shown this before? This is great. Murder buckets of London with bowler hats. And they look so much more steampunk than sci-fi. I really do enjoy this. Genuinely, this is... I can't even... And all the terrain he's stuffing in there. And we're back from where we started with statues, which also look very nice. Carlos Victor, my hat's off to you. That's an awesome project. Hit all the likes and the thingamajigs on that project if you're there and so inclined. Meanwhile, yes, Lorna, everything is better with a bowler hat, except for me. The only hat I can wear is a tricorn. If I'm not wearing headphones, that is. Grendel's Warband for Conquest by Jesus John. Okay, I know I complain a lot about unreadable usernames, but Jesus John. Whatever. So what is he doing? Path to Conquest. Oh, I remember. I took a quick look at this when I cut it out. And he's done some really nice do-it-yourself base for that Conquest big guy. And let's jump in. No, that's too far down. Here. So this is his Conquest box, and there he's starting with something weird looking. He's using wire and what is it? Paper to make himself a gnarly tree. And I think the results speak for themselves. That's a nice looking gnarly tree. I don't know if I would have gone all the way for simply one model, but this one turned out pretty nice. We just skip on the base coloring of his ordinary forces because he's obviously done a lot. The tree is starting to look better. And even more, skipping those again. Pile of shame, nobody knows. And there he's adding the tree to his base. Let's see where this leads him. Now, this was the picture that caught my eye. And for some reason, I'm under the impression that I have seen that mighty hero with that color scheme and that pose somewhere before, and I, for the life of me, cannot put the finger on it. I would bet that is probably some video game character, but I really couldn't tell you. If you have got any idea where this pose came from, oh, Soapdadger, you might be onto something. The color scheme of the hair and the pose screaming Lion-O from not Hello Kitty, Thundercats. That could very well be the thing that caught my eye. But then again, maybe it's a mixture of Thundercats and the dwarf from Golden Axe, the video game. Nevertheless, this little base scenario game does really look cool. I think this is one of the few entries on this Path of Conquest where, yeah, this deserves attention. Not to say that the other Conquest things don't deserve attention, but somehow Conquest does not spark anything within me. It's the design of the miniatures that doesn't really tickle, but there's each his own, I'd say. I hope you have fun with it. Liono from Hello Kitty. Oh god, yes. Hello Kitty the board game. I'm pretty sure there is something like a Hello Kitty tabletop game somewhere. And I know for a fact that there's somewhere out there a Tau Warhammer 40k Hello Kitty army where somebody took a giant Hello Kitty puppet thing and replaced the big Tau warrior, whatever it's called. Next up, a Hello Kitty Darth Vader. Dutch, don't show me anything like that. I might have to bleach my eyes. Greystoke is having a go at even more Legion, which I like. Oh, and today, in case you haven't heard, FFG does a limited run Luke Skywalker for Legion in his very iconic X-Wing fighter suit with head options and arm options. Yes, it's limited. You can get it in the US as a pre-order from FFG, but there will be... how did they put it? Certain stores will be able to pre-order it, but no details have been given from Asmodee Germany, and as I understand, the same will be going for the UK, so I'm guessing that's all over Europe. You will be able to pre-order it if you're lucky. So FFG taking a cut from GW's book by pre-ordering stuff that's only available in limited quantities. I don't think I'm a fan of that, but then again, a limited edition miniature that's not exclusive to one continent is a large improvement over the other way they did it before, in my book. So he's done B2s. And arms. Oh, color testing on spare arms. They're very understandable. Some steps. The bases look a bit bland, but then again, you need those crosses. And I think those match the design of the flying mopeds very much. Did he paint the flying? Oh, he used the secondaries as a holder. Oh, that's an idea. That's nice. His B1s also look cute. Can't put it any other way. They're not battle worn, they're not damaged, they look fresh from the factory line. They look like they're happy little clankers about to be shot and hacked to pieces by an annoyingly angry man with a beard. Yep, this is how you work your way through tons and tons of fiddly little robots you need to assemble before painting, and you get totally mad because the head is for some weird reason in 2 parts. I don't think I've seen so many color variations of the B1s in the movies ever. But then again, it's Star Wars. I'm pretty sure it's all canon, it's all legal, and the mouse has sanctioned it. Duck, the cheapest way into Legion is actually the starter set. If you want to focus on one of the armies that comes with either of the boxes, you'd really be best off if you get a mate to buy a second box and then just swap armies. If you want to simply get in, maybe get the original box for a little bit cheaper than the Clone Wars box. it's totally a financial viable option to go only with the core box at first, because if you take what's in it and add the different sums up, at the point where you'll be adding the movement tool and the dice, it's getting ridiculously expensive. Because in the core set you get the hero, you get a vehicle, and you get 2 troop boxes for each side, dice, movement trays, and some terrain. And I think when I calculated the original box back in the day, you basically had to pay about 80 euros for the box, and if you would have bought the things separately, would be around 120. So if you want to go in really cheap, buy one core box, sell off the army that you don't want. There will be people taking those off your hands, I'm pretty sure. Next up is some dead dude, Gorka's Relic Blade Adventure. Chaos Gorka has done some, let's say, no Dutch, I'm not clicking that link. Very interesting color scheme. But I somehow love it. It's so colorful, and at the same time it's so dark. I mean, just look at this pink and blue at the same time with this darkish armor. And I'm still not certain if the floor is meant to be glowing. I love look at the amount of detail that went into these miniatures. Sadly, we can't embiggen this anymore. Maybe you're able to see the small dot that is the eye here, and the liquid that is dancing around in this glass on his belt. Simply adorable, and the color shifting from this blue to red is simply astonishing. Really, really fond of it. You would be, I'm really hard pressed to say if this is painted red, or if he actually went out of his way to get some red light to be glowing from beneath to give the impression of being painted red. Did he say where this base comes from? Let's see if there will be... Does anybody know if this is a pre-bought base, or is this some kind of green stuff roller? Does anybody happen to know? It looks like it maybe come from a green stuff rolling pin. Maybe he has written it somewhere before, but I can't actually bring myself to go down again. This is just... The lighting effect is enormously impressive. Really, really like this. Could be the temple roller, you're right. Next up, Denzian. I think we had Denzian before today. I think this is a show of duplicates. Just with me. Oh, it's a weird one. And he's Afghans. We have seen his Afghans before. Let's see where we left him. And he got himself a fort. From... Can we see? Sarissa, 28mm Desert Fort. I think with some modifications this might be a viable option for a certain sci-fi game I used to play. And it looks really decent. Maybe I would have used some speckle on the sides and added a very fine-grained sand, like the ones you get in the animal store for chinchillas. This is a very fine coarse sand, and simply slapped it on the outside to give the impression of some rough texture, because I think for this castle these ultra smooth walls is a bit too smooth. But then again, the paint job is very nice. Very lovely. Another 30 to go. Oh God, you lot really make me sick with an amount of miniatures you shell out in a week or so. It's depressing. Camel shite and whitewash final look required. Yeah, I think that's more or less like it. And to be fair, excrement and dung and other natural materials make a very good isolation. And since it's getting very cold in the night and very hot during the day, and decent isolation on your buildings is nothing to raise an eyebrow up, and the smell leaves within a few weeks, I guess. Next one and last one for the evening is Tuffy's Mansions of Madness. So we had visited her before. She had painted a lot of stuff from the Mansion of Madness, and I think last time there she was building and painting. Shortly after that she was contemplating on losing her mind, I'm guessing, because of all the tokens that are in this. Somebody at FFG must have really have a weird fetish of doing tokens. Lovely Feldherr insert for the box to keep all your miniatures safe and sound and not chipping the paint. Yes, Bob tokens, and these little organizers really do help. So let's see, the investigators. And keep in mind, these are board gaming pieces. These are not meant to be pristine miniatures. And for that, there I think is enough detail in, and Tuffy really did a nice job in getting the most out of these little, I'd say 20 mil, more or less, miniatures. And see that one on the right, she's doing the only thing that's right. She's running away as fast as she can. You don't want to be around when this guy comes creeping up. Hello, kind sir. Do you have time for us to talk about our Lord and Savior? Oh, this is a bit strange. Now, this is the exact pose the mummies with the scythes have on Hero Quest, is it not? By the looks of it, it's a pain in the rectum to get these glued on. Oh, Michael Jackson? And some local football fans. This has a bit of a ABBA singing group. Or maybe, what was the other ones called? Can't remember. Staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 ha. Damn it. My brain is leaving me. Oh, god damn it. Bee Gees, yes. Oh. I'm never going to make it out alive. Oh, 5 years have these been sitting somewhere around. Well, now they're getting something done. And they're getting played with. This is the most important part. Games are meant to be played and enjoyed. And I hope, Tuffy, that you have killed them all. Or didn't you participate in the game when lending their game to your family? So, as this is all I had prepared, and I'm still a bit exhausted. This week has been a bit of a drag on myself. I hope you can forgive me if we cut this episode a bit shorter than usual. As said before, I will be posting my email address down below for anybody who has any comments and or feels need to talk about the situation that was. For myself, on my part, I close this episode. Next week, I'm hoping Jerry will be back, if he hasn't gotten himself muted by screaming too much at the telly. In case Blinky has been watching or will be watching, I am sorry. I hope you can find it to forgive me and Jerry at some point. Anyhow, this was more or less half an hour, as usual. I thank everybody who has been here. I'm going to try to get some rest and maybe prepare some other things that are in the works and in the pipeline. If I can get any of those damn music licensees to finally respond to my emails, bloody bastards. Have a good one. Good night.